Welcome to Quiz Street. How many questions can you get right? Let's get started. Good luck. What color is the black box on airplanes? Orange. Which animal can change its gender multiple times during its life? Clownfish. Which country owns the territory of Greenland? Denmark. What is petrichor? The smell after rain. Which ancient city was buried by a volcanic eruption in 79 AD? Pompeii. What is the national sport of Bhutan? Archery. What inspired the invention of Velcro? Burdock burr. What is the currency of Turkey? Lira. Which human organ was the first to be successfully transplanted? Kidney. What is the only letter not appearing in the periodic table symbols? The letter J. Which famous scientist is on the Swiss 10-franc note? Leonhard Euler. What is the most abundant gas in Mars' atmosphere? Carbon dioxide. Which mammal can survive the longest without water? Kangaroo rat. Which African lake is the source of the Nile River? Lake Victoria. Which planet has the largest number of moons? Saturn. What does the G in G-force stand for? Gravity. Which country was once called Ceylon? Sri Lanka. Which animal has the highest blood pressure? Giraffe. Which spice was once worth more than gold by weight? Saffron. Which ancient civilization used knotted strings called quipus for record keeping? Inca. What is the oldest surviving printed book? Diamond Sutra. Which is the only venomous primate? Slow loris. Which bird can mimic nearly any sound, including chainsaws? Lyrebird. Which country was the first to issue a postage stamp? United Kingdom. What is the main ingredient in traditional falafel? Chickpeas. What country has a city called Timbuktu? Mali. Which is the fastest spinning planet in the solar system? Jupiter. Which ancient material was used to wrap Egyptian mummies? Linen. Which bird lays the largest egg relative to its size? Kiwi. Which is the only country with a Bible on its national flag? Dominican Republic. What is the strongest muscle in the human body relative to size? The masseter, or jaw muscle. Which fish can climb trees and breathe air? Mudskipper. Which animal has 3 hearts? Octopus. Which country eats the most chocolate per capita? Switzerland. Which sea has no tides due to its extreme salinity? Dead Sea. What was Google's original name? Backrub. Which is the only mammal born with horns? Giraffe. What is the name for a group of flamingos? Flamboyance. Which city has more skyscrapers than any other? Hong Kong. Which is the only bird known to hibernate? Porwool. So how did you do? How many did you get correct? Thanks for watching.